Ok. Bom dia, bom vini, membro de imprensa, danke para vossa presença ao mainta para informação tocante de evento muito especial. Aqui tem quadro de 25 anos de celebração de IPA sua existência. Nós temos informação muito valiosa ao mainta, nós temos orador especial que aqui dia vai introduzir. Nós também fazemos em ambos pavimento em inglês também, mas também começar diz que tique informação, me te quero que porta tique contexto arriba não somente que nós também celebrar em seguinte 2 dias, mas também tique arriba informação de feld de enseñanza. Difícil quizás para WAC es aquí, tique muito chiquito, pero si nos pone atención arriba, específicamente información demográfico de enseñanza. Nos tenemos más o menos 22, casi 22 y medio, muchos jóvenes de escuela na Aruba. Es aquí obviamente de un tour diferente nivel de enseñanza. Nós temos também 81 escolas, seja público ou que recebe subsídio de governo. Essa aí conta com 9 diferentes diretivas de escola, que também conta com a presença de mais ou menos 1.400 maestros full-time, mas se nos conta também, estão que trabalham part-time, aqui, nós chega alrededor de 1.800 maestros e docentes. O governo está invertindo mais ou menos 286 milhões de florins por ano em enseñanza. Essa conta, se nos vaque como percentagem de nosso GDP, é mais ou menos entre 4 e 6%, qual é relativamente alto. E se nos vaque como de gasto de total, o governo gasto anualmente, é mais ou menos 21%. Pois também, bastante alto, isso significa uma inversão substancial de parte do governo na área de enseñanza por ano. Para que nós está aqui na Mainta, para nos introduzir nos orador especial que vai estar conosco para os seguintes 2 dias. Eigenlijk ela começar e acaba ayer à noite com evento na IPA. E a persona de Professor Andy Hargreaves, aqui nós temos assina, não tem palavra para descrever como nós se sente sobre a persona de Andy Hargreaves, está uma persona hopi conhecida na área de enseñanza, está mirar como experto internacional na área de enseñanza, riba diferente nível Eta bini for de de Boston College, eta chair de escola de maestro, dus escola de educação, e também que ta conheci que a desarrollar diferente buquinang, mais que 30 buki riba tópico de enseñanza. Nós dispone algum kinang para você seguro inventar esta hobby grande hasta que o awardo traduzir na holandês, pois na diferente idioma ng rond do mundo, Professor Hargreaves está uma pessoa que o awardo busca se seja for de parte ng governo, for de outra instituição de enseñanza, para dar seu input em diferente reforma ng diferente sistema ng e nós está assim contente que nós por conta com sua presença aqui na ano 2005 ela award gerankt como número 6 de pessoa mais influencial riba o terreno de enseñanza. Pues trobe te quero dizer para o mês nós logra de invitar meneer Hargreaves que e nós estamos sumamente contente com sua presença e me te quero que essa aqui também cria seguro base muito amplo para o conhecimento e upgrading que está sendo essencial para nós maestros. Está sendo que nós maestros quizás está sali for de IPA, está drenta em veld de enseñanza, está para adiante classe, lo que é muito importante para continuamente nos invertir em conhecimento também, em o cambio de amplia e conhecimento ronde ensinança para sobre continuamente essa que cambia. E isso requer ora que nos invertir em tipo de evento assim aqui e nós fazemos e bem aqui no quadro de celebração hope especial, 25 anos de existência de IPA, essa aqui segura motivo para celebrar. And we are so very pleased. Now we're going to switch over to the Papamento, but I'm sure you've probably picked up a few here and there. Your names for sure. One, it was all good stuff. It was all good stuff. We are very, very, very pleased to welcome today Professor Andrew Hargreaves, who is an expert in the field of education, in research in the field of education, and author and edited more than 30 books. We are so honored and pleased to welcome him to our lovely island that perhaps is small in footprint, but for sure big in ideas, in heart, and passion for education. And I think that over the next 3 days, we are certainly going to be listening with all ears and all attention for the areas where we believe we can take some of the guidance that Professor Hargreaves can give us to make some changes and perhaps advancements in some of the areas that we feel that we can improve in. And so without ado, I would like to pass the mic on to Professor Andrew Hargreaves to maybe share with us a little bit of his experience so far. Yesterday he had one particular event already at IPA, and we are scheduled to have an event today and again tomorrow for educators across all levels of education. And for sure that we want to welcome him with open arms and very, very graciously thank you for being here. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Bon dia. Is it still time for bon dia?
It is still time.
It is still time for bon dia. I'll just say a few words to begin with.
That's okay.
We're okay. To thank the hosts, really to thank IPA in partnership with the Department of Education and also the support of the Minister for bringing me to Aruba for these few short days. I think there's a secret tourism strategy in Aruba. And what they do is they invite you invite people, and they imagine that they'll be here in 4 days for half a day of a meeting, and then 3.5 hours on Eagle Beach or one of the other fantastic spots that you have. And then what they do is they take up all your time with these irresistible invitations to meet with the minister, to meet with the governor, to meet with the Prime Minister, actually, and to give talks and presentations. And then you realize you've had no chance to sit on Eagle Beach at all. But you've heard about it, and therefore you will come back and bring 25 people with you next time to enjoy it as a tourist. So I have fallen for that strategy already.
You figured it out already.
When I was invited to come here by staff from IPA while sitting in the back of a taxi in the Netherlands, so I was trapped and I couldn't escape. They began to persuade me what an interesting country you are educationally and culturally, and what an important time this is for people everywhere to be able to come and share ideas with you and to learn a little about what you do. We had many Skype conversations ahead of time, and through those Skype conversations and through background research that our team at Boston College has done, we've learned that your strength and your challenge is being a country of 4 languages, which is a magnificent thing. I have one. it's a magnificent thing as a country and as a culture, but it is a challenge in all countries with multiple languages to think about how you sequence those and to begin to understand how you draw on people's own languages as their first language of instruction in which they learn best, so that then they have access to the other languages and all the learning that will help them become effective in literacy, in mathematics, and ultimately to be on a path where, if they wish, they'll be ready for college and be very motivated to take on strong careers. So this was the first thing that really drew me to this interesting place that you have. And the second was really a set of issues around teaching and the quality of teaching. Teaching is the third most important occupation in the world. The most important occupation is to be a mother or a father. The second most important occupation, it's mine now, is to be a grandmother or a grandfather. And the third most important occupation is to be a teacher, because teachers create the generations of the future. And at this particular time that I'll say something about in a minute, we need to be particularly mindful of the importance of teachers in society, the support that teachers need, the value that they need to be given by government, by parents, by the public, by universities, and so that we elevate teaching to be the best it can be for the future society. And the reason for that is the third thing, as I began to learn about Aruba, is the image is that you've always been, if you first imagine it, a place, as it says in the airport when you come in, of sea, sand, and wind. It's a beautiful welcome to the country. But I've learned, of course, historically, there's a long history that includes engaging with the oil economy in 1958 and then disengaging from the oil economy in 1985 and now re-engaging by the building of the new refinery, and then being then somewhat dependent on what happens to the political fortunes of Venezuela and other countries that will supply you with the raw material that you'll be processing. And in every country around the world now, we cannot take any single economy for granted. We have to diversify our economies, and we have to be able to adapt very quickly to when those economies have to change. So our children need new skills. They need not only literacy and math, but they also need to be able to work in projects, to inquire into what they're doing, to be curious, to be motivated, to be engaged, to want to read. Even if there are jobs waiting for them, to want to have the best job that they can possibly get, to contribute to their society, to be really good citizens. And this is true here, and it's true everywhere, all across the world, in countries in the Middle East where the price of oil is now down, and in the country of Qatar that I just went to, which is building a sustainable society in the middle of the desert, because it knows its future will be different than the past. And to have all this, we need good teachers, but teachers also need to change and to be able to adapt to the kind of learning that their children will increasingly require. And to change, teachers need support. They need the opportunity to work with their colleagues, to share their ideas, to understand that it's not just me about making my difference, but it's us about making our difference together as a community, and to have the support that will enable them to work with each other in school time and to work with partners from the community who can help them do that job effectively. So this is a society of great culture, many languages, I know already, as well as beautiful beaches and sand and sea. It's a place that has passionate teachers who now need support to move further forward and be the best that they can be for their students. And it's a place of change and excitement. I've been here one day, but we did a little bit of homework, and I've been as well briefed as I could possibly be and as my mind could absorb. And I'm looking forward to spending 2 or 3 more days with you, listening and meeting people, being in schools, which I've been this morning, and engaging with any questions that you have to ask me or the minister or Ava from EPA.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bom dia, Turiende. Sí. Bom, mi nota vai retirar lo que acaba de avisar. Me quiero avisar que ayer a tomar lugar el primer evento, que está un charla comunitario de 3 eventos que nos tienen planeado. Es aquí está hopi exitoso. Está hopi exitoso para sobre eigenlijk speech historia que professor Hargreaves conta, nós reparar que eta usa exemplo, eta papel over die coisas que eta conectar com nós reparar que challenges e reto nan que eta papel over die je, dat eigenlijk nós reto nan, nós reparar que nós não tá je único de nós reto nan e nos problema nan que nós tem, eta algo global. Essa é outra roupa importante, ela papel eigenlijk over die Kiko, ta ingrediente na wo bisa, kuta hasi maestro, bom maestro. Awe elo papia over di liderazgo, e mayang lota dedica na maestro nang anto transformação começa a tomar lugar, ora coisa está cambiando, o mundo está cambiando, e com o maestro também mestre cambia de na ensinança. Quer dizer, yeah? Ok, thank you.
Tem qualquer pergunta? No? Okay. Masha, dankie. So it was also very clear. There are no questions. Imagine that.